talk a little bit about the Scouting America logo change. This was announced last summer, the summer of 2024. Now, as of February 8th, 2025, Boy Scouts of America has a new logo, and the new logo represents a lot more of what Scouting does, whether it be a boy troop, a girl troop, a crew, which is kind of co-ed, and then you have all the different kinds of scouting that goes on in America. Scouting America is better representing all of the different things that Scouting does in America. This new logo, and we're gonna put it up, but before we do that, let's talk a little bit about being good stewards of Scouting and really thinking more about encompassing more of our program that we have. This is something we already have, so we need to think about that. And it's not that they're taking the boy out of a boy troop, okay? They're really trying to include everyone as one cohesive group, and that's why Scouting America, which is, after a while, it took me a while to start saying that. It took me a while to get used to girl troops, you know, and we don't have girls and boys, we have scouts. That's the best way to think of it. Scouting has for many years been in America, and it's important that we support this new branding. It includes everyone, and that's the beautiful thing about it. Here is the actual patch that can be added to your uniform, and this brings the uniform up to date for that branding. Now, keep in mind, the Scouting has never gotten away from or did away with any of the uniforms. So historic uniforms are still valid. You just have to stay within that time period that historic uniform is actually representing. So if you have early Scouts from the 20s, they have a look, they have a certain patch construction that they use on their uniform. They have, if you're representing from the 60s or 70s, they will have different types. So it's important to keep that in mind when you're looking at historic uniforms. Technically, they are still valid, but they have to be kept in accordance to that time period. So for Scouting America, it is important that if you're going to be doing that vintage type of uniforming way in the future, you're looking back and you see this, definitely have this patch on the uniform. Now keep in mind, there has been many changes to the branding in the past. All of them are valid. And if you have a new shirt that says Boy Scouts of America on it, go ahead and wear it. They're not taking those away. They're not going to be selling those. They're going to be putting this patch over that. And eventually this will be embroidered right into the shirt. So for the time being, this is an option. You can update the uniform if you so choose. That's all up to the individual. If you have Boy Scouts of America on there, that's fine. If it says Scouting BSA, that's fine. It's all in your preference and how you identify with your uniforming, trying to keep that consistent. So definitely think about that. Now, vintage is another thing completely. So think about the updating with the patch. They won't be available right away. They've even said that until summertime they really aren't going to be available because they want to concentrate on all the shirts that they have. They want to be able to put them on the new shirts that are being sold. So once that's been taken care of, then they'll have the patch out there. And I think it's nice. There's a lot of different kinds of uniforms out there. So think about trying to identify the shirt, the uniform. We still have epaulets. We still have the same color scheme. All of that's going to be about the same. And uniforms tell a story. And this is a neat thing. This is new. And if you get that patch and put it on, great, because it's an option. It's not mandatory to have this on immediately, and you can't wear a uniform shirt until you get this patch on there. No. Go ahead, continue as you were with your uniforms. Now, when you get a new shirt and the uniform tells a story, that'll be on there. So don't worry about not being in uniform. The uniform police is not going to go around, start knocking on leaders' doors and saying, "Hey, better get that patch." That's never been the way it is in scouting. You wear what you have, and you're proud of that. Wear that. There's no problem there. If you want to add that to your uniform, to your story, go right ahead. I don't believe there will be a grace period or a period of time where people want to make sure that they're upgraded so that they're within a uniform guide of some kind. The thing is, they've had branding changes in the past, and it's always been up to the individual to update their uniforms. Now, there are areas they don't have the money. The troop, the youth don't have that money, especially their parents. They don't have the money for brand new uniforms. So we don't want to exclude anybody because of the price, okay? So because of that, in the past, when we went to Scouting BSA, they didn't have a grace period. You chose to either put that on your uniform or not. So that was all a part of that. So think about all the different economic regions in America. It would just not be scouting-like to force everybody to get this patch right away. Over time, this is the new branding. This is where they're going. So this is an option for so many youth and adults. As a scout leader, if you have old uniforms and stuff like that, it's really up to you to make this update. This is something that is up to the scout and the scouter. They can choose to update their older shirts to this new logo. It is, at this time, it is totally optional. So, and I think most scouts and scouters want to be, up to date. It's not a uniform police issue to enforce. So if somebody's bullying you about your uniform, you need to say, look, there's nothing that that scouting has put out in the past has been outlawed. Okay, you can't wear it. No, none of that. It is something that is vintage and it should stay vintage with those vintage uniforms. And those are wonderful things. There's a lot of the great things that are going on, such as the honor patrols that do flag ceremonies and stuff in different vintage uniforms. Okay, none of that has been forbidden. Okay, none of it has been outlawed. Okay, for you uniform police out there. So keep that in mind. These are things that will be vintage in the near future. So if you choose to upgrade, that's fine. And there shouldn't be an issue. Nobody should be bullied about, putting this patch on, whether you like it or not. No, it's up to the individual. Constant availability. Now, this is something that is going to evolve over time. So if you're watching this and it's an old video, this probably has already been worked out. But as this rolls out, they're concentrating on getting the new inventory up to date that's at the scout office or the scout shop. That's what they're doing. They're trying to get that updated. Once that has been done, by summertime they should have the patches available where people can actually add them to their old uniforms if they choose. So this is something that becomes an option. There will be a cost. So this is something that if you're not a person who can sew on patches, there might be some expense as far as putting on the patch, and the physical patch will have a price. So these are things that make it optional to either add to your uniform, add to your story. That's something that will be a cost. The uniform is traditional. It doesn't change that often. Sometimes there are big changes. So if that's something that you're wanting to look at some of those big changes that have happened to the uniform over time, there is a video about how the uniform tells a story. Check it out. That is a great video. But the uniform lasts a long time. This is a new shirt as of 2 years ago. And this is something that I purchased. And you know, the thing is with scouting, the shirts last a long time because you take them off if you're in an activity or you're dealing with paints or cleaning things that will stain your uniform. So you protect your uniform, and it does tell the story. All the different patches, all the knots, all that stuff, that tells the story. This does tell that story too. So this is something that is optional at this time. It is important to keep that in mind. It may become something that's mandatory, that this be added on. Now I know if they do that, the cost will actually have to be considered for a lot of people. And that is something that usually they don't. And they've done this in the past, like I've said. So this becomes a process of just updating the uniform. Your older equipment you can add this to that uniform, that story. Community reaction. This is something that happens when you change a uniform, change a branding. They're going to have reactions, and hopefully you can be that example and help resolve any of those issues that may arise. This is critical to getting this branding out there. There are a lot of people that are very happy about it. There are a lot of people that are not so happy about it. So we need to be scout-like and really be there to help and support youth and adults that may have an issue with this. So definitely be there to help out on that branding issue. The core values of scouting have never changed from day one. It's the Scout Oath and Scout Law. That's the important part. The branding is how people think of it. How do they look at it? How do they view that organization by that branding? So that's the thing. This is far more conducive to what we actually have in scouting. It really frames in exactly what we're about. Scouting it's a wonderful thing, and being that American Scout group, that's the key. Now I want to hear your opinion, so definitely use the comments. Be mindful of the Scout Oath and Law when you're leaving your comments. I like passion for scouting and passion about our values. That is totally fine. Definitely tell me what you think. This is something that we're going to have to work through and get through that process, especially if it's a problem. If it's not, celebrate it. Tell others how happy you are about it. This is something, I think it's about a 50-50, maybe. So definitely put it out there. Don't let the negative people that are not liking this change, don't let them rule the conversation. Okay? Definitely put your 2 cents in. Talk to others. Our community is open to all Scouters. As long as you go by the Scout Oath and Scout Law, you don't take it personal. Definitely put a comment on there. Thumbs up, thumbs down. That's not necessarily on the video, because I'm not supporting or knocking or, it's not the video, but the comments. Don't be that person that acts like a bully or a troll. Okay, you don't want that. You want to be Scout-like. So definitely use those comments below the video to express your joy, your disappointment, your whatever. That's the place for that. Let's talk about merit badges. This is a big focus for a lot of youth, especially the Scout leaders see it all the time. They are consumed with getting these merit badges, putting them on their sash, and really showing off their achievements. The merit badge by itself is actually in 3 different categories. Life skills, career, and hobby are the 3 categories that merit badges make up. Life skills, that could be everything from how is a law made. That is something that's covered within merit badges in the citizenship merit badges. How is that done? How does your community function? These are things in that life skill. Those functions are actually explained. Now, when you're dealing with careers, that could be anything from plumbing to automobile. That could be a lot of different things. Whereas in hobbies, you have things like chess. There's different video games and gaming and stuff like that is part of the merit badges. So all of the merit badges fall in one of the 3 categories. Now, originally, merit badges were meant to be displayed on the long sleeve of the right hand sleeve. That was where they were supposed to be. But a lot of times you ran out of space. That is still true today, up to 6 merit badges. After that, they are transferred over to a sash, and the sash is worn from the right shoulder across. That's the wonderful thing about the sash, and it has a wonderful history. The very first Eagle Scout, Arthur, was the first one to really have a sash, because he had so many merit badges. They were going to be put on his shirt, and they didn't go, and it didn't go on the sleeve, and they didn't fit, and so they came up with a sash. But he was very upset about that. He did not want his mom to make a sash to put these patches on. But there was no other place to put them. So he decided, yes, Mom, you can put a sash, but no fringe. That was he didn't want any fringe on it. That was the thing. He was the first one, and the first Eagle Scout was it, and that was in 1912. When should the merit badge sash be worn? A lot of your scouts are going to ask that question. They're going to say, "Scout leader, help me out. When should I wear this sash?" That's when you come up and say, it is important to wear the sash at courts of honor, boards of review, and of course ceremonies. That's when you should wear the sash. You should not wear it on campouts. It will become a problem. Sometimes if you're doing activities, you should take the merit badge sash off, fold it up neatly, and put it in your pocket if you're at an activity. That you shouldn't be wearing anyways. You have to be in full uniform to wear the sash in addition. How should it be worn? Yes, this is something that a lot of scouts may not know, but it's always over the right shoulder and down and across to their left. This is very important for the display of all those wonderful round merit badges. Merit badges weren't always round. Sometimes they came out square, like canvas squares. And they're kind of standardized into being a fully embroidered round patch much later. That's kind of what we have today. The Order of the Arrow sash should not be worn at the same time as you're wearing a merit badge sash. So if you're at a special activity, an event, presentation, and you're representing the Order of the Arrow, you should not wear your merit badge sash also. Put the sash away, put on the Order of the Arrow, do your representation, whether it be announcements or what have you. Then when you're done and off stage, then you can take the OA sash off and put the merit badge sash back on. So they can't have them together. Otherwise, one would be over the other. So you don't want that. And that's the critical thing about the OA sash, the Order of the Arrow sash, and your merit badge sash. Now, as far as actually tailoring the sizing of your merit badge sash, it should be based on two measuring factors. It should go from your shoulders and naturally drape all the way to your belt line on your left. The editing or actual changing of the length can be done. You invert the sash and you actually have it machine sewn at different levels, 1 inch in all the way down on the corner. And just following the same line, it should just be able to take it in, and if you need to, you can always pull that stitch out and be able to do it. So a little bit of tailoring to make it fit appropriately. Merit badge placement should always be on the front, from the shoulder all the way down to the tip. Sometimes if you get more merit badges, you may have to use the back, but most of the time all merit badges need to be on the front. No other patches should be sewn to the front of the merit badge sash. It should always be on the front. And that's important to go from the right shoulder to the left belt, okay, to the belt level on that other side. So if you run out of space, you can use the back. Now there are several ways you can place merit badges. The classic one is 3 across. I have seen 2 across, which looks just fine. They're a little more spread out. It covers more. If you are just going to be doing the 21 merit badges to get Eagle, that's fine. 21 will fit on beautifully. It'll fit just fine 2 across. But I have scouts that wanted to get every merit badge, and they had to go to the extreme of actually taking 2 sashes, sewing them together side by side so that their merit badges were 6 across, packed, filled the entire sash, both sashes. It was amazing to see. It's almost like wearing a quilt. It's a huge amount of merit badges. And if you're going to go through all that, wear it. It's an achievement. It really is a real big achievement. Now, as I said, there's no other patches on the front. All merit badges. That's the only thing. On the back of the sash, it's up to you. You can put all kinds of different activities, different things that you've done. You can sew on all kinds of things on the back. I would recommend sticking with achievements. If you have achieved things like the Nova Award or something of that nature, you could put that on the back. If you have a life-saving thing, you could put that on the back. If you got a swimmer's snorkeling award or something like that, these are things you could put on the back. That helps tell a story. And in an Eagle Border review, I've even asked the scout to let me look at his sash, to see what he's got on the back. He had film on there, he had all kinds of things. So that just gives you character, gives you all kinds of neat things, achievements that you've done that you're proud of. And putting it on the back is not bad, okay? Because at a court of honor, most of the time you're facing the presenter. And all those achievements on the back look really good, okay? It really makes the scout very rounded as far as all their experiences. It's just amazing. So it's not that there's a place for that, okay? They don't just have to be on the temporary pocket and then move to the sash. That's something that can happen. The temporary pocket fills up very quickly. So that's the thing about the sash. Now, one of the crazy things about merit badges, there's a lot of different ones. There's all kinds. In fact, there's a video about the different kinds of merit badges, tough ones and easy ones. That's the neat thing. Definitely check that out. Now, as I was saying, if you run out of space on the front for all those merit badges, you can definitely start on the other side. And that's something that a lot of scouts will do. And they go down there so far, right where they stop as far as the merit badges, and then continue on with all the different awards and things and achievements that they want to put on that back of the sash. Can you have more than one sash? Yes, you can have two. And they are worn right shoulder to the belt line on the left. That's the proper way. If you have two with all filled with merit badges, they need to be sewn side by side so they can be worn on the right all the way to the left. They're not crisscrossed, okay? It's not like what they call those bandoliers, with all the no, they don't crisscross or any of that stuff. If you got that merit badges, just sew the two sashes together. And that way you can put all the merit badges on it. It just makes it a lot easier. Hey, before we go any further, I want to make sure that you're invited to the campfire chat. Now, this is our live meeting we have each month on the first Sunday, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a fantastic way to get involved with live chat, and we have special guests. We have all kinds of neat things that go on. So definitely check that out. I also want to thank all of the Patreon members of this channel. In addition to that, I also want to thank all of the channel members right here on this channel. They have a fantastic group of people on this channel. They get a lot of perks. They get a lot of little icons and all kinds of neat stuff. But definitely check that out. If you're interested in becoming a member, definitely hit the little join button. It'll tell you more information. That's a great way to make this channel even better. Make it a part of what you do. And I'm so proud of you. We're just gonna jump right back in. There are some common mistakes that happen all the time with merit badge sashes. Wearing the merit badge sash over the wrong shoulder. If it goes left to right, not right. It goes from your right shoulder to your left side, okay? The left side. That's the only way to wear it. Mixing it up with an OA sash. No, don't mix them together. And the OA sash goes from the right to the left, okay? Placing non-merit badges on the front of the merit badge sash. That is not what the merit badge sash is meant for. The placement of the merit badges is completely up to the scout. They could be put in on earned or presentation order. It can be from top to bottom. Different groupings. You can have groups based on camps. So if you got those 4 merit badges, they're put as 4 on your merit badge sash. I've even had scouts leave an opening for partials on their merit badge sash, so it looks like patches had fallen off. That is totally okay. You can leave those spaces open so that when you do earn that merit badge, you can put it in that space. I've had scouts put them in groups so that it's down the middle is all the required merit badges, the one with the silver borders on them, all the green ones on the sides. And that can be, there's variations of that. Merit badges are something that a lot of scouts are very proud of. It takes a lot to get some merit badges. In fact, Life Scouts often are completely stopped in their progress towards Eagle by merit badges. So check out that video. That video has the Eagle Scout Slayer merit badges. They're the ones that a lot of scouts forget about until it's too late. So that's the important thing. Merit badges are required to achieve the Eagle Scout rank. So they are tough and they are not easy. So, and some of them have a long time that you have to put in to earn those merit badges. Now there are many creative storage and different things you can do with your merit badge sash. I know that some companies out there make a box, a wooden box that actually is maybe about that big, so that you could fold up the sash and keep it in a box as a keepsake. The box is usually engraved and has all kinds of carvings on it and stuff. So it can be elaborate, okay? And that's something you can do. You can also have it in a shadow box where it can be hung on the wall. So that is a possibility. Many times if you have the sash, like I do, I have the sash, my dad's merit badge sash, I have my own, and I have my son's. So I have those 3. And we can definitely put those into some kind of a keepsake frame so that they don't, degrade or get lost. And that's the big thing. And that's the wonderful thing. You want to be able to see that legacy, that life legacy of all that stuff going on, and enjoying that. It brings great joy to see that. That is a wonderful thing. There are many traditions and pride given to the merit badge sash. Filling it up with merit badges, it tells a story, just like the rest of the uniform. It's interesting to see that happen. Sometimes there are traditions within troops where they will actually put the troop number on the front. Not really supposed to do that, but if it's a tradition and it's actually okay with your unit and it's what you all do, as long as it's uniform, it is uniform. Okay, so I do not recommend doing that. You could put them on the back. That's totally fine. But if it is the tradition of your unit to do that, then that's different. And that's something that you're going to have to clear that with council and stuff like that. Most of the time, they're good with it as long as it's consistent within your unit. Whatever traditions you have, traditions are very important in scouting. We love traditions, okay? We're very patriotic. We like those things to continue. So definitely, if you have exceptions to some of the rules, that's fine. But stick with your traditions. The tradition in scouting is to only put merit badges on the front. And that's kind of been the thing for a long time. And since it's been around, since 1912, it's been around for a while. Merit badge sashes have had different things put on the front and the back. So that's always been something that a lot of scouts work on. And these are the standards for today. Now here's a pro tip for young scouts and scouters even. Merit badge sashes are only worn at courts of honor, and they're only worn at boards of review and that kind of thing. So sewing them on can be challenging, especially if you're trying to rush it in for that board or review. Guess what? Merit badge sashes, because they're worn at special times and not during activities or camping, they don't get dirty very often. A lot of times they're not washed. From the moment you get them, they're not needing a wash. They're clean. They are on the outside of the uniform. So it would be permissible to physically glue or paste these things on. You could do it with hot glue. You could do it with fabric fasteners that actually fasten on. There's many different things that could actually be used. You don't need Velcro on a merit badge because you're not taking them off. They go on and they stay on. And you don't wash the sash very often. So, it's a very rare thing to wash a sash. Mainly because they're mainly for display. You're displaying all of those achievements, and that's what a merit badge sash. But it is a great way to teach how to sew a patch on. The way the patch is made and the way that it's constructed makes it very easy, and the size is easy for a scout to actually learn how to sew on a patch. They can go through the material, or they could stay on the top half of the sash. That's totally fine. They could do a machine. You can machine sew these things on. It varies. So fastening them on is not as important, but putting them on is. You want to make sure that they're on there, and glue or any of that other stuff is fine. Now, I know the purists are going, no, you have to sew everything on. No, if you're not removing it, it's not going to change. It's going to stay in the same spot the whole time. Glue it. That's what I say. Glue it on there and be done with it. Have it fastened on somehow. That's the important. Encourage your scouts to take pride in their merit badges. These are achievements that non-scouters will never have. That's something to be very proud of. You're earning these things, youth, so display it. Put it out there. Wear your sash when it's appropriate. That's the important thing about merit badge sashes. These are little achievements on your path through your scouting experience. Understand. Want to talk a little bit about getting other medals. The Eagle is a wonderful goal for a lot of youth, and this is something worth going through the process and all of the requirements and everything to get. But there's additional medals that may be considered. There's some that you just go into, and this whole thing about medals and awards was brought up on the channel. Right here you can see this young person is actually a star scout. They're going for their Eagle, but they're trying to fill out some other things. Maybe they already qualify for a different award. So these are things that as scout leaders we need to talk to them and find out where their focus is. That's the big thing. If we can find out that focus and help that young person get recognized for the achievement, we need to do that. Now, one of the big ones is, of course, the Heroism Award. This recognizes life-saving or doing something that rescues people in a life-threatening thing that happened. So it's important to recognize them. And this isn't something you go out and earn, okay? But if you've been in the right place, the right time to help someone, you should be recognized for it. So that's one of the key things about the Heroism Award. As a scout leader, you may know a youth that has been in a situation where they were able to help others and rescue people, or give life-saving medical, like first aid, to somebody who really needed it. Say they were choking, or somebody that almost drowned. Those are life-saving things. This is something that the youth should be recognized for. This is a very rare, which is good, because you don't want a whole bunch of them, because that means everybody's like in trouble. So it does happen, and it's wonderful that we recognize those youth, and because they're using Scout skills, first aid and life-saving, and really going above and beyond and helping others. Now, another big one, of course, is the religious emblem. This depending on your faith, there are many different ones out there. So the requirements are not all the same. So depending on the faith, that the religious emblem that you're going for will have its own set of requirements. When I was a youth, I earned the youth religious award. It was called God and Country at the time. So then, and if you're a member, you're going to hear more about that if you're a channel member. But I went through the process, and my brother and I both achieved the youth emblem. The youth emblem is actually this purple knot with the silver rope on it. So that's what we achieved, and it actually had a medal with a ribbon and everything that you could wear. So that is a great way. And if you're interested in that, you want to check out this video. That is about the Religious Emblem Award. There are many different ones, so depending on your faith, will depend on what requirements are needed. World Conservation Awards. This typically is a patch that's put on the youth and the adults. Adults can earn it too. That is put on the uniform for it's a patch or a badge, as they call it, that you can wear. But there's more out there. There's all kinds of world conservation. Not only that, but you have things that are more involved, have service projects and all the different requirements and all that kind of stuff. And we have done videos about world conservation, so definitely check those out. We have lots of videos, so definitely look into it. National Medal for Outdoor Achievements. This is a very difficult medal to actually earn. There are requirements that you need to look into, and this is trying to keep the video here evergreen, so please go to the website and to the different links that are in the descriptions below, so that you get the actual current day requirements. Sometimes with medals and earning those medals, once you start doing it, that freezes those requirements, so that if they change just before you complete it, and it can take years to actually complete some of these, that's the thing. The requirements you started with are the ones you stay with, and that's true for a lot of stuff in scouting. Now, on this National Outdoor Medal, please take a moment and look at the video right up there, and it'll give you more information so that you can get started and start doing some of the things that are needed to be done. Now, a lot of Scout youth are multi-registered. They're not only with a troop, they could be with a crew or a Sea Scout ship. So there's different awards that they can also earn in addition to achieving the highest level they can. Say Eagle Scout, that would be the highest in a troop. Now the next one, of course, with a crew, you have Summit and Ranger. So these are some of the awards you can get that are very intense. You have to really look into it. Finally, if you're in Sea Scouts, that's quartermaster. That's a wonderful achievement. And a lot of times, these other awards are so rare, they actually are less people getting them than they are Eagle Scout. And Eagle Scout's pretty rare. So there's a big difference. So be looking for, in this season, a video coming up about Sea Scouts and their achievements that you can actually get into. Now, as a scout leader, if you're just with a troop, or even if you're with a Cub Scout pack, you need to know about these awards. So don't tune out. It's important that you know of these things. They may not qualify for them because they're Cub Scouts, but the thing is, they will not always be a Cub Scout. They will progress into the other branches of scouting. And as a scout leader, it would be important to know about it. International Spirit Award. This is not just a patch, but you can get recognized at higher levels. You have to look into the paperwork to actually get the medals and all that stuff. So that is a possibility. And that, of course, is with WOSM, which is the World Organization of the Scouting Movement. That's what this purple patch is. You will see this on all of the WOSM scouting organizations around the world will actually have that patch. So we're part of that organization, and they have different awards. They are actually incorporating some of the peace or the MOP, MOP. Some of that stuff's getting incorporated. So keep an eye out for it as a scout leader to see what's going on. See if there's something that's available now. There are additional awards and recognitions at different things throughout your council, throughout your district. So look into it. Then, if you're looking at more national, you have Philmont may have different awards. There's a lot of things at Seabase that have different awards. Northern Tier, Summit, they all have awards that you can actually earn. If you go to a national jamboree, there are things you can do at the jamboree where you can get segments and things that you can put on your jamboree patch that are totally unique. No one else can get them because they had to be there at that event to get it, so, and earn it. That's a big thing. So these are little things like that, you know. It's just a wonderful, wonderful mix of different things that are out there. Now, the ultimate bling, of course, is Eagle Scout. This is something that is an American icon. This is something that when people think of America, they think of the flag, they think of Statue of Liberty, they think of Eagle Scouts. You know, this is an American icon. This is something that is only achievable by youth. Only youth can get an eagle. That's a big deal. We represent, as scouts in the United States, less than 1% of all the youth that are out there are actually in a scouting unit. So when you consider that and the number of eagles every year, it's a very tiny fraction that actually achieve this in our youth population within America. So think of it that way. It is something that is achievable before you're 18. That's it. Now, it is true there were adult Eagle Scouts back a long time ago, back in 50s and further back. That's no more, okay? If somebody says they're an Eagle Scout as an adult, I take up at face value, Scout is trustworthy, so that's what I say. But a youth actually earning Eagle is very rare. It is very rare. So that is a very big thing. Definitely, if you're a youth watching this video, please make sure you do 3 things. Get a mentor. Get somebody that can help you through this process. So many youth are distracted by all the different things that are out there. Please get a mentor that'll keep you on track and you don't run out of time. So that's the first thing. If you know a scout, a life scout, who's struggling, become their mentor. Talk to them. Start working with them. Get them towards their project and all that kind of stuff. The second big thing that I recommend to every adult leader listening is make sure that the scout does not set his heart on a specific project. It is far too easy for that to crumble away and be a roadblock, okay? Make sure they have somebody who wants the project. That's the next big thing. You gotta have that recipient. That's first. Now what it is up to the recipient. The recipient will literally tell you. Sometimes the recipient will actually pay for it. So there's no fundraising involved. That's the big deal. Look for who you want to do a project for, not the project. The project is not the point. It's the recipient that's the point. And third, don't lollygag. Get it done. Get her done. You don't have much time. If you're a Life Scout, most Life Scouts are in that rank for up to 2 years. They're running out of time. So they need to get this done and get that project in, get it approved. Make sure that you do the project and you do all the follow-up in the workbook and make sure you get all that stuff done. Your mentor will see you through it. Definitely look at some of the videos here on this channel. We have a ton of them about Eagle Scouts. But those are my big 3 that I recommend that all adults and youth think about. Be proud of your scouting history. Be the example. If you're at a huge ceremony or something, wear your medals. Totally fine. Even if you're not in uniform. This is something that a lot of scouters may not know. If you're in a suit, you're at a very formal event, and you don't have your youth uniform or your adult uniform with you, you can wear the medals on the lapel. That is totally fine. Check the insignia guide. It'll tell you all about that. This is something that we need to be proud of, and we need to put that out there to be that example, that shining example of what scouting can really do and really recognize people for the things they do. This is so important, and we work so hard for our scouts. So please keep up the good, hard work. We're doing good work, and please keep that up. And I will be glad if you have any questions. Put them in the comments. That's totally fine if you have a question. I read them. I look at all of them. And if you're thinking about what to do as far as a mentor, I have a whole series right over here about being a mentor to a youth to help them become an Eagle Scout. Until next time, I'll see you on the trail.